recent years, the Philippine economy has seen more stability. The GDP has increased more than 6%, more than 50% coming from services rather than the traditional agricultural sector. Exports improved 20% with main products of rice, coconuts, corn, sugarcane, bananas, pineapples, mangoes, pork, beef, and fish. Primary industries include electronics assembly, textiles, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, wood products, food processing, petroleum refining, and fishing. The majority of trade stems from Japan and the United States. The Philippines is also a member of many international organizations that encourage perpetual economic growth and lessen trade barriers. It was only in 1946, when it gained independence from the United States, that the Philippines finally had the opportunity to run its own economy. Currently, many firms in the Philippines are well known in Asia. San Miguel Corporation is Southeast Asia's largest food and beverage company, and its flagship product, San Miguel Beer, is one of the world's largest selling beers and is among the top 3 beer brands in Asia. Foreign direct investments play an important role in the economic development of the Philippines. The central task of Philippine economic policy is reducing the number and proportion of poor families in the Philippines. One answer to this challenge has been the liberalization of foreign investments with the goal of expanding employment opportunities, enhancing Filipino capital and technology, and creating efficient competition through lower prices.
The Philippines has undergone a transformation from being an agriculture-based country to that of a newly industrialized country. The economy is now vastly dependent on the services and manufacturing sector. From the rough and tumble of life as the years went on, the people of Angeles rose from the hardships of pioneer life to establish one of the highly urbanized cities in the Philippines.
Despite the major challenges that were faced by the city, such as the removal of the U.S. Clark Air Base and the Mount Pinatubo's eruption in 1991, all these have been surpassed by Angeleños. The improvement in the economy of Angeles was said to have been triggered by the transformation of the U.S. base into Clark Free Port Zone, the place where the city's airport, Diosdado Macapagal International Airport, is located. Angeles City is the home for the city's emerging technology industry. Its economy is based on also in tourism and gambling, because it is one of the few cities in the Philippines with an airport. Angeles is visited by foreigners all year round.
In the 2000s, the local government of Angeles and Clark Development Corporation branded the Philbs Avenue tourist belt as a high-end destination with fine restaurants and luxury hotel and casinos. The finish of roads such as the Subic-Clark-Tarlac Expressway has improved trade and transport.
The city has cottage industry producing rattan furniture, coconuts, and charcoal briquettes. It is also has a thriving export businesses in handicrafts, metal crafts, toys, houseware, and garments. Apart from the Clark Freeport Zone, industrial areas include the Angeles City Livelihood Village and the Angeles City Industrial Estate. Call centers present are Telecare, Cyber City, Sutherland, and IRMC, plus other American IT industry are major employers as well. The establishment of a number of shopping malls also fueled the city's economy, including SM City Clark, Robinson's Place, General Grand Mall, Nepo Mall, Sabers Mall, and the Ayala Market Mall next to the next City Hall.
Nepo Mall, a famous shopping center that tourists and local residents usually visit in Angeles City. Nepo Mall plays home to numerous retail stores, specialty stores, and restaurants. Aside from this, the shopping mall also features establishment where people can have fun, relax, and unwind. Another attraction of the shopping center is its location, since it is easy to locate and accessible to other establishments in the city. Found at The corners of Doña Teresa Avenue and St. Joseph Street in Angeles City, Nepo Mall is not that hard to find even for those who are new to the place. And, and like any other business, one of its great competitor, which is a walking distance from it, it is General Mall, which is just one of the general malls in Angeles City, considered as the first shopping mall establishment in the famous city of Angeles, Pampanga General Mall.
But what are the factors affecting the economy of a city or a country as a whole? Why do prices of goods and services rises? How do supply and demand thus affect them? Well, to answer that question, we went on the market and interviewed one vendor. And these are her answers to our questions.
Sabihin mo na lang sa mga nagbibili, medyo mataas ang dating ng kulay ngayon. Ngayon, kung bababa naman, bilang ibababa mo rin yung presyo. Kaya ng mga consumer yung per kilo, binabalot namin ng worth 5 pesos or 10 pesos para hanggang lang yung pera naman.
But what about the response of a student like us to those price changes?
Siyempre na ano din kami. Nahihirapan din kami sa mga sa mga bilihin kasi napapansin namin na yung pagtaas ng yung mga presyo. So pag tumataas yung presyo, anong niyo doon? Parang
The higher the price, the lower the demand. And the lower the price, the higher the demand. The higher the price, the higher the supply. And the lower the price, of course, the lower the supply. But what are the factors affecting the demand and supply? Some of the factors affecting the demand are consumers' tastes and preferences, and consumers' income. And for the supply is the production cost.
Sir, why is it important for us college students to study economics?
Well, for starters, economics is the theoretical basis and background of all the other subjects, specifically in business and accountancy. So that is why it's really important to know the background first before you actually go to the actual part of the subject matter. So that's why it's really important for students to take up economics.
Okay, sir. Another question. Where do firms depend the setting of the prices on the goods or services that they offer?
Well, basically, the firms depend their prices first on the prices of the competitors and primarily what they actually added into that particular good. How much did they actually spend to the production of that good or to the giving of the service that they have. So it's more about the value added cost that relates to the price.
Lastly, when do we say that a country is experiencing an economic crisis?
Alright, so the term economic crisis. Okay, so primarily you have to look into a country's GDP or the gross domestic product. And then if you see that the gross domestic product is negative for like 2 quarters straight, then automatically you're already facing a recession. Then if it's 18 months or that's exactly 6 quarters, you're already facing a depression, and that is already considered a crisis in itself.
Okay, so thank you.
The title of being the entertainment capital of North Luzon is due to the active nightlife in Angeles. Its entertainment district comes alive as the sun sets in the west. This area is lined with bars and clubs where one can spend the night partying. The place has been described as asleep during the day and awake at night on more than one occasion, even though there are plenty of great fun and shopping spots around the city as well. Economics is the social science that analyzes the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Economic growth is an increase in real GDP, or gross domestic product. It means an increase in the value of goods and services produced in an economy. The rate of economic growth measures the annual percentage increase in real GDP. Economics is a broad subject, but there is one question that always comes into our minds when we hear this word. Is the economic crisis over? Or are we heading towards disaster?
Ang susunod na programa ay rated G. Ito ay pwede sa lahat ng manonood.